Welcome to Testify. Today we take a look at 2 Timothy. Let's begin. Chapter 1-2. Paul challenges Timothy to accept leadership. Paul opens by thanking God for Timothy and his family. Paul offers his first challenge to Timothy, calling him to reject any temptation, to be ashamed of the good news about Jesus, or neither to be ashamed of Paul's suffering in prison for announcing that good news. Even some of Paul's co-workers had begun to doubt his calling as an apostle. Paul specifically mentions two, who had deserted him, because they were ashamed of being associated with an accused criminal. Paul asks Timothy to reject any fear of shame and come see him. Paul realizes this is a costly request, that could put Timothy at risk, but Paul reminds him that Jesus' grace is a source of power. This power source is necessary because following Jesus is not easy. It requires everything you have. Similarly, Paul himself now suffers in a Roman prison. Hardship and sacrifice are inherent to the Christian life. If we endure, then we will reign with him. If we deny him, then he will deny us. God's love for our world has opened up a new hope through the death and resurrection of Jesus. Chapter 2-3. Paul encourages Timothy to confront corruption. As Paul moves into the second half of the letter, he asks Timothy to confront the corrupt teachers in Ephesus before coming to Rome. Their teaching is spreading through the Ephesian church like a cancer. They've targeted and corrupted a number of influential women in the church, likely the same wealthy women that Paul had to deal with in his first letter. He doesn't offer much detail about these, but Paul does give one hint: they teach that the resurrection of God's people has already taken place. Paul calls Timothy to raise up faithful leaders, who will teach the real good news about Jesus. Paul tells Timothy to focus on the core message which is found in Scripture. God speaks to his people through the Scriptures for practical reasons, as it is useful for teaching, challenging, correcting, and training. Chapter 4. Paul's final plea. Paul closes the letter by reminding Timothy that he is probably not going to make it out of prison alive. He makes a plea to Timothy to come as soon as possible before winter hits, as he was needing some of his personal items. Paul mentions how Alexander is an especially dangerous man, who should be avoided and is probably the one responsible for Paul's most recent arrest. 2 Timothy stands as a reminder that Paul's influential life and mission were marked by persistent challenge, suffering, and struggle. Following Jesus involves risk and sacrifice, and means inviting tension and discomfort into your life. These things are not a sign of Jesus' absence. Rather, as Paul discovered along with generations of Jesus' followers after him, it's precisely in those dark and difficult moments that Jesus' love and faithfulness become most tangible. Thank you for listening and learning with us. Please find 1 Timothy uploaded on our channel as well.